Dolphins. So obviously the Chargers, they're dealing with some running back issues, just depth there because Justin Jackson has been ruled out. He was seen in a boot at practice, so there is still a chance we could see Melvin Gordon out there this weekend.
Luke Kuechly, one of the elite defenders in the league. 95 Myles Garrett, a freak athlete. Shaq Barrett.
Aaron Donald, two-time Defensive Player of the Year.
All the accolades that he has. Defensive Player of the Year, Khalil Mack. Devin McCourty. Myles Garrett does it again. How about Shaq Barrett? It's Khalil Mack on the sack. And he's going to get muscled down. And Aaron Donald takes him down.
Bobby Wagner, most tackles in the league going back to 2014.
We've seen some great defensive performances so far this season. Through 3 weeks, Luke Kuechly and Jordan Hicks lead the NFL in tackles. No one has more sacks than Bucs linebacker Shaq Barrett. And the Patriots defense still has not allowed a touchdown yet. Devin McCourty is a big reason why his 3 picks are the most right now in the league. They have been killing it. So let's find out who's on the hook this week, presented by Bass Pro Shops. We have a number of teams and players that started the season slow. There's Josh out there trying to figure out who's on the hook. And Mike Robb.
Is there any water in there?
It doesn't sound like it. I don't know. This fish might be dead in that pond. So, who's on the hook this weekend? Who needs to turn things around?
I hate to say this. Former teammate of mine, Earl Thomas. And look, it's not necessarily Earl. That's the one in that Baltimore defense that's messing some things up in the back end. But to be ranked 23rd in the National Football League at giving up explosive plays. They've given up 16 explosive plays, a 20-plus yard pass or a 10-plus yard run. And 14 of those explosive plays have been passes. Oftentimes, the back end looks lost. And I just thought this veteran leadership, the fact that this guy studies all the time. I've seen him getting a haircut with his iPad watching film in the offseason, right? I thought that would rub off on some of these guys, but it just don't seem to be going that way. So, yeah, Earl Thomas, you're on the hook. And, again, it's not really you, but...
Yeah, I got that game tomorrow, so I'll be talking about that secondary and how they need to get... I talked to Brandon Carr, and he said a loud defense is a sound defense. We need to communicate, not just pre-snap during the play.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Am I up?
No. You know what? I'm going to go. Sorry. Move out the way. Okay. How about, you know who's on the hook? How about the team, the only team right now in the NFL that has not taken down the quarterback yet? The Denver Broncos, Von Miller, and Bradley Chubb, they have 0 sacks right now. I know, and I was so excited to see these guys play with Vic Fangio because of all of the success he had as a defensive coordinator in Chicago. Obviously, he had some great players there, but these guys are really talented. Von Miller, obviously, 14.5 sacks last year. You have Bradley Chubb, who had 12 sacks in his rookie season last year. And then the guy that they had as the rotational player last year in Denver, Shaq Barrett, is balling out. 8 sacks right now. He leads the league. He had 7 in the last 2 weeks. And it's like, you look at the teams that they've been playing, it's not like these guys have amazing offensive lines. And I mean, Oakland right now, they've allowed 7 sacks against other teams. Chicago, 8 sacks against other teams. Green Bay, 8 sacks against other teams. I mean, they need to step up. You guys are on the hook.
And what's wild,
man.
What's wild, we saw them play the 49ers in the preseason, and that pass rush was dominant to the point that Jimmy G, we were like, is Jimmy G done? Is he ever going to be himself again? And now to see that that pass rush not do what they need to do to have a great defense. And Vic Fangio's running.
August will trick you. For me, it's Landon Collins. This is not to say that Landon Collins hasn't been playing good football. There are bigger problems on the Redskins right now than Landon Collins. Okay? But the point is, they are facing the Giants this week, and Landon Collins been talking about it since he signed with the Redskins, that he couldn't wait. He sat with D. Hall and I during training camp, and he was talking about how he can't wait to see Dave Gettleman on the field. He's not going to knock him over, by the way. Don't buy into all that.
You got to play better than just twice a year.
But this is, and listen, if the defense parts and Daniel Jones starts to take off in a key spot, they need Landon Collins to be the guy to find him and take him down, because that's something you have to account for. So Landon Collins, I can't wait to see how he reacts on Sunday. It's a big game for him.
Yeah.
And heck, I'm going to go with my guy, and not to beat a dead horse, but I'm going to stay in that Redskins secondary. and it's my man Josh Norman.
Talk about it.
And Josh,
how deep you gonna get on this one, D-Hawk?
I'm not gonna get too deep because he watches the film too. He watches the film too. He did have an interception, and you're supposed to catch the ones that are gifts. That was a gift.
Yeah.
Thank Carson Wentz. That was a gift. But he just needs to not give up these explosive plays. Time after time, it just seems like Josh is lost. And he's played enough football to, regardless if my safety isn't there and he's supposed to be there, regardless, you've played enough football, you're an all-pro player to still make that play. And to me, that's the thing. He just doesn't seem comfortable in this defense.
Is he still an elite corner in this league?
No. He's never seemed comfortable in this defense. And no, he's not an elite corner in this defense.
Wow.
Not in this defense. If they asked him to do some other things, I'm sorry, Carmen. If they asked him to do some other things, maybe he could be.
What are the other things?
Form. Maybe some trap coverage. Maybe a little more cover 3 instead of man-to-man where he has to use elite quickness to keep up with guys and run downfield. That's not his game.
Yeah, we saw Case Keenum give away a lot of gifts, though.
Yeah.
Career high, 5 turnovers. Josh Norman on the receiving end of one of those. Dalvin Cook, though, he's absolutely dominating. How the Vikings running back can run away.
How much more money does his quarterback make than him?
Oh, you're talking about that. So he says he probably wasn't ready after all for week 1, and he aggravated his foot in week 2 in that loss to the Bucs on Thursday Night Football. That was obviously the game that ended with Christian McCaffrey taking the direct snap on 4th and goal from the 3. Obviously, couldn't get into the end zone there. Yeah. We were all kind of wondering why Cam didn't get the ball there, why he didn't try and run it in himself. That's really his patented move there. So the answer is simple. He says he couldn't, and now he just needs some time off.
It could very well be a week, or it could be 2 weeks. It could be 3 weeks. It could be 4 weeks. It could be 6 weeks. But the thing that I have to understand and know, if it takes that time, I trust in this team that we will still be in a great situation by the time I get back. And I think having that type of comfort, having that type of trust, it has really rejuvenated a lot of things for me. Because it takes the Superman out of it. I really didn't want that mantra to kind of be there, because you feel like you're immortal. You feel like you can't do no wrong. You feel like this big bad guy, but truth be told, I'm human. And I think throughout this whole time, I'm realizing that everybody has to be their best self for this team. And until I'm my best self, I will be fine, comfortable with knowing that there is means to this madness of me sitting out. I gotta be 100%.
So I got a lot of questions here. Is the hat and the scarf, are they connected? Is that one?
I thought
piece?
he looked sharp.
Was he in a cigar bar doing this video?
I like that look.
Yeah, you should rock it, actually.
It was actually together, you know? It wasn't like all over the place.
Okay, so this was obviously very,
smoking?
I think,
That's what I want.
planned.
I don't know what he was smoking. Why you ask me? A cigar?
That's my cigar expert right here.
Oh, no, I don't smoke cigars, man.
So what
gotta
was
hack your Instagram then.
Yeah, no, I'm not to post no cigars on my Instagram. Well, you better know your label mate, man.
What was your reaction though when
I was a little
you
lost
watched it?
because I've never been healthy, I don't think, 100% going into a football game. And so for me to expect my quarterback or anybody on my football team to be 100%, it's probably not going to happen. And so for me to hear Cam sit there and say, hey, if it's a week, it's a week. If it's 2, if it's 3, if it's 4, if it's 6. And I'm like, bro, I don't know if you'll be 100%, because at any given point in that game, something's going to be hurting to where you can't do exactly what you would do if you were 100%. And so I sympathize with Cam because I understand wanting to be 100%, but I don't know if Cam is even the best quarterback for this football team. Don't get me wrong. Now, Cam is a great football player, but I think at this point, they need a quarterback. They don't need a great football player. I feel like Cam has developed into a much better passer by this point in his career. He's got an MVP, and we kind of argue about well, how did he get that MVP? Great defense, great run game, and he took shots. Like, he wasn't really sitting back there, Aaron Rodgers throwing it, dismantling defenses. And so, I struggle with even if Cam is the guy for that team.
Yeah, we've seen him so many times make those amazing plays, and that's what makes him so great is the fact that he can take those shots and get out of trouble and then run around and do all these crazy things on the field. But when he's limited, he's just not the same guy.